yourself a massive round of applause. This is absolutely amazing. My name is Philip Yen, and my parents immigrated here decades ago, and they escaped communism, persecution, and a high degree of unfairness that we see around the world. And today, here in Bellevue, each of you are standing up for what I think is the best of America. It's raining, I know. I can't make it go away. But you being here means so much to our elected officials who stand behind me, and to your friends and family who stand behind you. And I think you should give yourself a huge applause for bearing this.
People of color has got to stop. The people, what really makes America great, is our diversity, and we need to celebrate it. So it's great to have all of you here. And let us remember, today it's against Asian Americans, but it was always been that way. In 1866, the Chinese were rounded up in Seattle and shipped away. And there were riots against the Chinese in Olympia and in Tacoma. In the late 1800s, the United States passed a law that said that Chinese immigrants could not come into the United States. And that law was not changed until 1943. In the 1920s, this state of Washington and many states passed a law that said Japanese and Chinese could not own land. And then in the 1940s, here in Bellevue, the Japanese residents, many of them farmers, on this piece of property and all around us, were rounded up and sent into concentration camps during World War II. Even though their sons, the young men of Japanese ancestry born in the United States, were fighting in World War II on behalf of America. Asian Americans and people of all colors have given their blood, sweat, and tears for this country, even though they face discrimination at home. And why? Because they believed in the future of America. We are not a perfect country, but at least we admit our faults and we try to do better. And now we all need to do better and stand up against hate, whether it's aimed at Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders, whether it's aimed against Muslims, whether it's aimed against African Americans or Latinos, anybody. We have to stand up against hate. Hate is the virus. Hate is the virus. Hate is the virus. Hate is the virus. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
It's very important to all of us because she's kind of the landlord of this park in a way, because she's the mayor of Bellevue, and she's been extremely gracious with her comments and her time on the subject. Please join me in welcoming Mayor Lick Robinson.
Thank you. I invite my council, our city manager, our police chief, and any staff that are here today to come stand with me, please. Because we stand with you. We stand together, and we do not approve of any hate against any group. And today we are here to support our Asian American community. Bellevue welcomes the world. Our diversity is our strength. We embrace that concept. It's really, Bellevue is one of the most diverse cities in the state of Washington. And we're so proud of that. And it's what makes Bellevue a great place to live and work and spend a day. I'm really proud of my city. I'm so proud of all of you for coming out in the rain to stand up and support our community. Thank you so much. Who
you likely know, who is one of the longest serving members of not just this council, but any council that I know of, is the Honorable Conrad Lee. Conrad?
Well, how are you? I am a man of a few words, so I won't say too much. And I just want to make a great compliment. I'm okay, thank you. To Governor Lott. I mean, he has said so much that we all feel about, we all share. So there's not much to add to what he said. But I do want to make a few comments. And you know that I'm not wearing the mask. I am. But I've already got my 2 shots, my second shot. So you know how old I am. So I'm safe. Yeah, but anyway, so hi everyone. I'm glad to be here. What a turnout. It's amazing. You know, I've been on the city council for almost 28 years. Often the lone voice of the unheard. The lone face of the unseen. But tonight, I'm really gratified and happy to see so many more faces and so many more voices. Right? Especially our young people. Later on, I know there's a young person that's going to speak to us. She is Amanda Lee. She is on the Bellevue Youth Link Council. So our hope is in our future, is in our young people. And you, all of you. I was the first and only elected ethnic minority council member and mayor for a long time. Bellevue had less than 10% minority population then. Now it's over 50%. More than 30% are Asian and growing. There are now 3 ethnic minority council members on the council. And I believe all 3 of us here. So let's give us all a hand. We are here tonight to denounce crime and hate crime. Because hate, as Governor said, is especially toxic and harmful. As individuals, we cannot sit by. We must oppose them. Affected, elected officials like us, we have the duty and responsibility to make our city safe. I'm proud of our police, led by Chief Mylat, that keep our city safe. Chief Mylat, our police. As an Asian American, I'm personally troubled by the anti-Asian racial sentiment and hate crime against Asians. I want to be safe, feel safe, no matter what city I'm in, and visit my friends and businesses, whether it's Seattle, San Francisco, or Atlanta. I denounce hate crime, no matter where, when, and by whom. We all oppose crime, because they threaten our lives and properties. We choose to live in Bellevue because it's safe. Therefore, I'm glad to be here with all of you to take a stand in unity with all our friends and fellow Americans, no matter what sex, age, race, color, or creed, to work together to keep our city and our nation safe. Thank you for showing up. God bless and good night.
Conrad, thank you.
Okay.
Washington Chinese TV station host here, Noah Kwan, and today I have with me Mr. Conrad Lee, a long-term Bellevue Council member. 你好，李先生，可唔可以講俾我哋聽今日呢個情形係為什麼你喺度呢？
因為今日喺 Bellevue 我啲華人社區覺得而家喺美國有啲叫做 anti-hate crime against Asian 咁我哋就嚟 demonstrate 話呢啲唔應該，應該係呢啲對於華人對於各種人族欺負唔啱我而家再解釋下，我而家口罩唔使戴，因為我已經2針都打過啦，所以已經係好安全啦。所以平時我都戴嘅，咁今日講話容易啲。好。所以而家成咁多人，起碼唔知幾百幾千人都有可能，而且落大雨，所以非常感動，有咁大家啲熱情出嚟表示我哋喺美國大家民族
種族應該平等，唔應該俾人欺負。尤其講到hate唔係一個好事嚟嘅，係 toxic 同埋 harmful。所以人嘅心裏邊唔應該有呢種心情。所以第二，你嗰啲搞 crime 就個個都唔中意嘅。crime 你犯法傷壞人哋啲生命同埋啲房屋物質唔啱嘅，係嘛？所以就我哋應該唔鼓勵做呢啲嘢，應該反對，使到啲大家群眾大家要團結，要每個人群知道我哋唔應該咁樣對付人群，應該要好好地心要好心，咁要合法咁啊！我哋喺呢度表達。呢啲唔係Bellevue嘅問題，呢個係全美國啲人民嘅生態，人民嘅而家我都睇到好多呢種情形啊 ，NT 呢啲對呢啲華人尤其最近睇到晒，咁就係唔啱嘅事，咁我哋一定要提醒美國大眾一定要去點樣停止，應該反對呢種現象。
咁啊，即係今日好多謝喺度啦，同我哋一齊咁樣去掙扎，同埋去一齊去繼續。好難得㗎嘛！你哋出嚟都係落咁大雨，咁多人嚟，地下又濕，大家都咁熱身，所以我哋覺得呢種心情係應該繼續推上嚟，繼續對我哋華人嘅地位我哋有咩唔啱嘅地方，人哋對我哋唔平等嘅事情應該提出嚟，應該俾啲主流社會了解，知道我哋係有呢種。 Washington Chinese TV station host here, Nella Kwan, and here I am with Bellevue
Mayor Lynn Robinson.
Mayor Lynn Robinson. Thank you so much, Ms. Robinson. Can you share with us today's event and why you are here today?
Oh, it's an incredible show of support for our AAPI community.
Absolutely.
And I mean, it's so important that everybody come out here and support anybody in our community who feels unsafe, who feels scared, who feels marginalized. We don't tolerate that here in Bellevue. And I'm here, the city manager's here, the entire city council's here, the deputy mayor's here, our chief of police is here.
Yes.
We're all here to spread that message.
Excellent. Now, are there any other events that are happening that you would like to help push and encourage other people to go to?
I think at 6:30 tonight there's going to be a candlelight vigil.
Excellent.
And I believe that former Governor Gary Locke is going to be here as well, so we'll be able to hear him speak.
And any last words of encouragement or steps that you want everyone to take?
Well,
to help push this?
I'm very happy to see people showing up to support this initiative of standing up and saying we're not going to tolerate this. And nobody has to tolerate this. And I just want people to know that if they experience it, if they witness it, please report it, because we need to stop it.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Mayor Robinson.
Yeah, thank you.
Excellent.
One of the key organizers for this event. He's the president of the UCAWA here in the state of Washington. He's a key organizer, and I'd like to invite him up to say a few words. Please join me in welcoming Winston Lee.
Thank you everybody for coming. Thank you so much. We made it happen, everybody. It's you made it happen. Asia is not a virus. Discrimination is a virus. Dear Governor Locke, Mayor Robinson, and welcome guests. I'm Winston Lee, President of the United Chinese Americans in Washington. UCAWA is a chapter of a national-wide nonprofit civic organization, United Chinese Americans. We are outraged by the recent increased hate crime aimed at Asian Americans and senseless killing of 8 people, including 6 women of Asian descent, in Georgia this past Tuesday. Today, UCA nationally call on Asian American communities to hold a moment of silence
in honor of the innocent lives lost in Atlanta. UCAWA demands the federal government, local law enforcement agencies, and the community leaders must immediately take action to address the surge in anti-Asia crimes to ensure the safety of Asian Americans and their businesses. What happened in Atlanta has once again highlighted the plight of Asian Americans, resulting from anti-American discriminations and violences. This must stop! This must stop! This must stop! We demand and deserve a better America. An America that is safe for all its citizens. Thank you all for coming and support. Thank you.
是呢，做了这个活动，就是说关于这个对亚裔这个仇视的活动，现在在美国是越演越烈，所以我们觉得应该让它这个停止的时候了。因为亚裔呢，以前给别人的印象就是哑巴、不说话、沉默的羔羊，觉得能沉默、能忍受就可以了。但现在觉得这个事实并不是这样的，所以我们今天就动员大家一起走上街头来反对这种针对亚裔的犯罪暴力。谢谢。
Thank you so much. This is Washington Chinese TV station host Nella Kwan, and today we are at Bellevue, Downtown Park. And with me I have Bellevue Deputy Mayor Jared Neuenhuis.
Well, first of all, that's excellent pronunciation of my last name. Thank you.
I'm a huge fan. Tell us today why we are both here. Actually, we have Andrew Yin. No, Philip Yin. I'm so sorry about that. Philip Yin here. And can you both tell me why you are here today?
Well, first and foremost, I'm here to stand up against anti-Asian hate. We have 3,900 accounts of that across the country. We want to make sure that no one in this city, in the city of Bellevue, has to be accosted or has any kind of violent attack against them simply for being Asian in our community. And I implore all Asians who live in the city of Bellevue that if there are any physical or verbal attacks against them, please call 911. Please contact our police department. They are your ally. We are here to help, and our Bellevue Police Department wants to help any case of hate in our city.
Absolutely. And Philip, do you have any words that you would recommend, any actions that we can take?
Well, I'm not a politician, but I will say this, that having, my parents immigrated to the United States, they came here for a reason, and that was to escape the hatred and prosecution and unfairness that you see in other parts of the world. And as Americans, I think we can all agree that we are a lot better than this. And I want people around the city and around the country, and quite frankly around the world, to see the best of America. And I think these rallies in particular that we see happening around the country, it truly is the best of America. So I'm just happy to be a small part of it and speak out and make sure that, as Jared said, there are too many instances of unfairness and acts of hate that go unreported. And it is time now to stand up. And if you feel something has been wronged, please speak up. And I would tell all of my Asian American friends, if that happens to you, your family, your mother, your brother, your friends, this is the time to speak up.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you both for representing and speaking out.
Thank you.
Great. And I wish you all a continued success. This is Washington Chinese TV station host Nella Kwan, and today we are at Bellevue Downtown Park. And with me I have Bellevue Council member Janice Zahn. Now, Janice, what are we here for today?
We are here united together to make sure that we raise our voice against the anti-Haitian rhetoric, hate and violence that's been happening for way too long, and we've been the silent model minority that has, been conditioned to stay quiet. And enough is enough, so we are silent no more.
Excellent. And what is today's program? Are there any other items that are coming up?
Yes, so we are going to be marching around the park. There will be another rally, and then there will be a vigil, a candlelight vigil to honor the victims of the Atlanta murders and the shooting.
Absolutely. And any other words you want to share with others to encourage them or have them take any actions to help fix this problem?
Oh, absolutely. I think that as Asians, as Asian Americans, we cannot be silent anymore. We must speak up. We must speak out. We must share our stories. And we must demand better. We must demand more. It is not enough for us to live in the cloud of being a model minority, right? We are proud Americans, and we need to claim our rightful place as Americans. We need to celebrate our culture and our heritage and our identity and make sure that we are not going to accept the racism, the xenophobia and misogyny that's been happening for centuries in this country.
Agreed. I absolutely agree with that. Well, thank you so much for speaking
Oh,
up
thank you.
and being
Thank
here
you.
today. And we're excited to continue this drive.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Zahn.
Yes.
Think about our youth that give me courage to speak out and make sure that we're silent no more. Because at the end of the day, our youth are watching us. What are we telling them by our actions? That we as Asian Americans are going to be silent? No! So, right when we come together, every time, our kids are watching. So are we saying that hate is a virus? That Asian Americans are Americans? And that we will not be defined by the decades of rhetoric and messaging about who we should be and that perpetual foreigner that former Governor Locke talked about. Because you know, at the end of the day, our children deserve much more than that. And I think that by looking at this crowd today, I believe that we are unstoppable. The fact that it's pouring down rain and some of us have been out here for several hours means that we are unstoppable and that we are not going to be silent anymore. And I believe that what we need to be saying is that Asians matter. Our contributions matter. Our culture matters. Right? We have just as much rights to be American, to be proud of who we are, our names, our culture, our heritage, and that hate absolutely is not acceptable, but it's not enough. So earlier I said we set the bar way too low if all we're saying is don't hurt us. What we need to say is don't hurt us, but recognize us, see all the contributions, see our innovations, see the fact that we have just as much rights to be here for justice and equality and to belong, and that every single day we are showing up even when our voices are being silenced. So from now on, we need to be proud, we need to speak up. Anytime someone tries to victimize us, they try to scapegoat us, and they try to harm us. And together we can do this. I believe that united, even in the pouring down rain, we are saying that we are silent no more, and that united, we will claim our rightful place in America. Thank you.
Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. Thank you. It is unconscionable that people still feel in this day and age that it's okay to take another person's life or harass another person based on their race or ethnicity. That is not acceptable. It's not acceptable in Atlanta. It's not acceptable anywhere else in this country or this society. And it's definitely not acceptable here in Bellevue. So I want to thank all of you for being out here, because in this rain and this weather, it shows your commitment to the change that needs to happen in our society and the part that you're going to play in it. Is that right? It also is a testament to the lives of the victims of the shooting. There is no boundary when it comes to hate and discrimination when it comes to race or ethnicity or gender. And our unity should not know any boundaries as well. Thank you.
And he'd like to say a few words to all of us. Please welcome.
Thank you. My name, as he said, is Derek Viven, and I'm a member of the American Jewish Committee for Seattle's board, and a proud Jew. And I'm here to stand in solidarity with our Asian American and Pacific Islander friends and neighbors. Any attack against people of Asian descent is unconscionable, whether it's physical or verbal, online or off, quiet or loud. The Jewish community will not stand idly by and watch bigotry unfold. An attack against any minority community is an attack against us all. We will condemn it where we see it, and we will stand shoulder to shoulder with our neighbors in the face of it. There's no question that the events that unfolded over the past year and those of this past week in Atlanta are acts of bigotry, domestic terrorism, and hate. AJC Seattle has been proud to speak out against Asian American bigotry and discrimination since the early days of the coronavirus pandemic, and we will continue to do so. In the Pacific Northwest, our communities are interwoven, that is without question. Our children share the same classrooms. Our elderly share the same nursing homes. When one of us is made a target, we all suffer. No person, regardless of what they look like, where they come from, how they worship, who they love, should be marginalized or victimized. Those who wish to traffic in hate seek to divide us, and we refuse to let them. Thank you, and it's an honor.
Bellevue High School, and a future leader of America, I think, right? I'm going to hand the microphone over to Amanda. Here you go.
Thank you. Hi everyone. Getting weather it is, right? All right. Hi everyone. My name is Amanda Lee. I'm an Asian American youth within the city of Bellevue, and I just want to start off by acknowledging the 8 victims who died in the Atlanta shooting. The 3,800 Asian Americans victims of hate incidences that have been reported over the past year. And the Asian American victims of hate incidences that have gone unreported. Most of these victims being women, our elderly, and youth like myself. I will acknowledge that I do not have a way with words, hence why I have them written on a piece of paper. But when I first found out about the Atlanta shooting, I lost any eloquence for conversation that I did have. If asked to describe my feelings about the hate crimes, I would only be able to use simple words to describe complex feelings of grief and anger. I am horrified. I am scared. I am tired. I am angry. And I can only imagine how the families and friends of the victims feel. My heart goes out to you all. As an Asian American myself, I was born in the United States. This is my country, the home of my family and the kind and supportive communities that I have been a part of and care deeply about. So this past year, reading news headlines about racially charged hate crimes has left me with a feeling of betrayal clawing at my insides and sitting as a lump in my throat that I and many others have been trying to swallow in hopes that it will disappear. How could the America that I have grown up in be the same one that allows hate and racism to flourish? In reality, we have woken up to the problems within our society that have been overlooked. Hate and discrimination, whether it is in the form of racism, Sexism, homophobia, and more exists, and it is time we stop excusing it. The problem is, we could see these incidences coming. For the past year, fear of COVID has provided an outlet to anti-Asian hate incidences. Everyday rhetoric highlights the target on our community's back. Despite the stories that we have heard, the images of our bruised elderly that we have seen, the videos of our youth getting bullied, change has not been made. And it has escalated to the point where we are losing lives to shootings for people to finally pay attention. It is time we use our words to encourage others to express their discomfort as well. I am tired, and I know that this feeling is something that my peers and youth across the country have been feeling. But I will not be put to sleep. This is the tired that feels action. Action for change. In Bellevue, I want us to learn what we are doing to increase resources for survivors and their families. Intervention and prevention-based programs. Resolutions that condemn hate and advocate for more. But something that we can all do is spark dialogue and conversation so that these incidences are never forgotten and never happen again. And that action is hard. I myself had mixed feelings about coming and speaking today, questioning what I could contribute to the conversation, why I am qualified to speak out, what I can do as a high schooler. But I wanted to come and speak because, while I'm not the most eloquent speaker, words have power. Seeing a face rather than text on a screen has power. Learning people's stories through conversation has power. It is time we break the culture of not speaking out, because it's only then when we will see change. Everyone, stop Asian hate!
I think all of us are having an okay life over here in the Bellevue, in Seattle, because of our job. We're making a good living. At the same time, I want to make sure that we can also be more active in the social aspect of life. And then we are going to organize more events like this, and I hope that we can be more active and make a bigger difference until we see a change against the AAPI community. Thank you, and we'll see you more, and I will hope that we're going to see you more in the future. And remember,
stop Asian hate! 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 Stop Asian hate!
你先上去。